Hey everybody, it's Dave, and in my last video about Philmont, I ran through some gear that is for sure going with me, and some stuff that isn't. And one of the things I told you is that my trusty Jetboil, one of my old, tried-true camping, backpacking friends, is not going to Philmont. And instead, I am replacing it with this setup. So this is a Toaks 550 milliliter titanium cup, so basically 2 cups of water, and this little stove, which screws right onto your fuel canister. That is the stove. This was 13 bucks. And it folds up. I'll show you how it folds up here, and then I'll kind of set all this up. It folds up to just nothing. I mean, it's just like, that's it. It goes in this tiny little stuff sack, and that's my stove. So there's a couple of reasons why I think this is better. The main thing is the size of it. I mean, it's just it's just so much smaller, you know? And I do think that's an advantage when you're going on a, 60, 70 mile trek. We're supposed to submit our itinerary this week. And what I thought I would do really quickly is just kind of, break down this system for you and show you kind of how it works. I was gonna boil some water here, but I don't think there's nothing more boring than watching water boil. So it's pretty basic. It doesn't have an igniter like the Jetboil does. But the igniter was the first thing to break on this. It worked for like a year. It's basically like that. And it's a small stove. When I did this earlier, just testing it out, seeing like, well, what's the functional difference between it? The Jetboil took about 1.5 minutes to boil 2 cups of water. This took 3 minutes. So double the cook time for a cup of water. The Jetboil is also insulated. It's got this nice, if you've ever seen the Jetboil, you're not going to burn your hands on this. This one doesn't. This one does not. What I did instead, this is too hot. What I did instead was just put some duct tape on these little handles so that they're a little more easy to kind of grip and grab. But, the Jetboil, you're looking at $100. It's pretty much $100 to get into a Jetboil, and then you can kind of go crazy with Jetboils and do all kinds of different stuff. But your basic Jetboil is $100. $25 for the cup, $13 for the stove. $13 for this little tiny pack-up stove. Also, one of the things I was really pleasantly surprised with is I thought, okay, now I got to wait for this thing to cool down. These handles really cool down pretty quick. Like just from that, they're almost cool. I mean, they're certainly cool enough to touch and put the thing away. A little bit hot. But, give that a minute while I'm drinking my coffee in the morning or whatever, and that thing is just going to be totally dry, or totally cold, rather. It just goes in this tiny little sack. There's water in here now, but I didn't do a very good job. That goes in there. There's my stove versus that. So that's why the Jetboil is not making it with me, unless this thing just completely flails on our next shakedown hike. We're going to do 2 days on the Pacific Crest Trail, and that should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to testing this little thing out. But I was really surprised by just the compact nature of it and also the cost difference. It's a big difference. So anyway, that's why the Jetboil is not coming with me.